Okay, so let's unpack this. We got a message from a listener named Gabriel that, it's sent us down a really fascinating rabbit hole today.
Oh, this one was interesting.
Yeah. So he was at a party, just, minding his own business, and he hears this phrase that completely threw him off. Someone told him, if a cold soft drink is kept on balance.
Kept on balance. That's a very specific, slightly awkward way to put it, isn't it?
Right. Gabriel was totally confused. He's thinking, on balance, like, am I supposed to balance the can on my head?
Yeah.
But the more he listened, the more he realized they were talking about his health. See, Gabriel admits he drinks like 3 or 4 cold sodas a day,
Wow. Okay.
and often right after meals. And he's noticing he feels bloated, sluggish, and this is the weird part, he keeps craving more food even when he should be full.
Ah, the classic symptoms. It sounds like whoever Gabriel was talking to was probably trying to translate a very, very old Ayurvedic concept into modern English.
I get a little lost in translation.
Oh, a little bit. When they say kept on balance, they are almost certainly talking about the body's internal homeostasis, the balance of your digestion.
So today's mission is to decode that mystery phrase for Gabriel. We're going to dive deep into what happens both biologically and energetically when you pour an ice-cold, fizzy, sugary drink into your system.
And we're not just guessing. We've got a whole stack of sources here. Medical responses from Ayurvedic doctors like Dr. Priya Sharma and Dr. Ayush Varma, plus some academic papers on toxins or ama, and guides on incompatible foods.
It really feels like a clash of civilizations.
It is. You have this modern habit, ice-cold, fizzy convenience just crashing headfirst into this ancient principle that your stomach is basically a fire.
A fire that needs to be protected.
Exactly.
A fire.
Yeah.
Let's start right there. Because to really get why Gabriel feels so gross after his 4th soda, we have to talk about Agni.
Yes. Agni. In Sanskrit, it literally means fire. But in the medical sense, and, just sticking to a basic Wikipedia definition here, Agni is the entity responsible for all digestive and metabolic processes in the human body.
So it's not just like I ate a burger, now it's gone. It's the actual engine.
It is the engine, and there are different types, but the big one, the main boss, is Jatharani.
Jatharani.
That's the fire in the stomach and the digestive tract. Its whole job is to take that burger you ate, break it all down, and convert it into a form your body can actually absorb and use. If Agni is strong, you get nutrients. If it's weak, well, that's where the problems start.
I found this analogy in one of our sources, Rasa Ayurveda, and it's just the perfect way to visualize this. It's the campfire analogy.
Oh, I like this one.
So imagine you have a nice, robust campfire burning.
Mm.
That's your digestion, all fired up, ready to cook your food.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Nice and hot. Ready to go.
Now you take a big bucket of ice water, which is Gabriel's cold soda,
Yeah.
and you just dump it right on top of that fire.
Oh, disaster.
Oh, total disaster.
Huh.
The fire doesn't just cool down a little bit, it sputters. It might even go out. And now the wood, which is the food you just ate, is just sitting there.
Wet and smoking.
Exactly. It's wet, it's smoking, and it is definitely not burning.
It's such a visceral image, but physiologically it's not that far off. Dr. Ayush Varma, one of the experts in our sources, he explains that this isn't just a metaphor. When you drink something ice cold, you cause immediate vasoconstriction.
Meaning the stomach walls actually contract. They physically tighten up.
Yes, they tighten up, and that immediately slows down the movement of food. Plus, the cold just dampens all the enzyme activity that you need to break down nutrients.
Right, because enzymes work best at body temperature.
They do. So
Yeah.
when you drop the temperature that much, you're basically telling all your little digestive workers to just take a nap.
Right.
When they have the most work to do.
And that completely explains the sluggishness Gabriel mentioned. But it's not just the temperature, is it? We're talking about what you called a triple threat here. It's the cold, the fizz, and the sugar.
Correct. Let's break those down because they each attack the system from a totally different angle. We've kind of covered the cold or shitavirya in Ayurvedic terms.
Which dampens the fire.
Right. It increases kapha, which is the energy of heaviness, of mucus and vata, which is dryness and air, but it suppresses pitta, the fire element.
Now, Gabriel asked a really smart follow-up question. He asked, well, if I just warm up the soda, does that fix it?
Yeah, room temperature Coke. Is that the magic bullet?
Is it?
It's better, but I'd say only marginally better. You're removing the immediate thermal shock, so your stomach walls might not contract so violently, but you still have the other two villains in the room.
Okay, so villain number 2, the fizz.
Carbonation.
I was reading this source, The Fizzy Conundrum, and it points out something so incredibly obvious I'd never even thought about it. Carbonation is just dissolved carbon dioxide. It is literally gas.
It is. You are purposefully introducing the air element, what they call vayu, directly into your digestive tract. Ayurveda sees this as a direct aggravation of vata dosha.
And what happens when you pump too much air into a contained space?
It expands, distension,
Yeah.
pressure.
Bloating.
Exactly. That is precisely why Gabriel feels so bloated. He's filling a system that's designed for solids and liquids with a bunch of high-pressure
Okay,
gas.
so we're cold, we're bloated. Now for villain number 3, the sugar. Because soda isn't just sweet water, right? It's usually high fructose corn syrup or some intense artificial sweetener.
And this is the trap. In Ayurveda, the sweet taste is called matua rasa, and normally sweet things are actually considered grounding. They can calm vata down, so you might intuitively think, oh, the sugar might help with the bloating.
But
There's a big but. The quality of that sweet taste matters. This isn't the sweetness from, say, a sweet potato or a date. This is highly processed, heavy sugar. One of our sources, soda in Ayurveda, notes that it has a mathura vipaka, a sweet post-digestive effect.
Okay.
And when you combine that heavy, cloying sweetness with the cold temperature, you create a massive spike in kapha.
And kapha is heaviness.
Heaviness, dampness, lethargy, that explains the sluggishness perfectly. You get that quick sugar rush for a second, but the overall energetic effect is to just weigh the body down.
The source also mentioned it taxes specific organs, right? The pancreas and the spleen.
It does. The pancreas goes into overdrive trying to manage that huge sugar spike, and in Ayurveda, the spleen is associated with fluid metabolism. So when you overload the system with this cold, sweet sludge, you mess with the body's ability to manage fluids properly. That leads to even more heaviness and water retention.
So if we go back to our campfire analogy, we've dumped ice water on it. That's the cold. We blew a bunch of wind at it. That's the carbonation.
And then we threw a wet, heavy blanket over the whole mess. That's the sugar.
It's a perfect recipe for just extinguishing digestion.
Which leads us to the most concerning part of Gabriel's whole situation. What happens to the food, the wood that's just sitting there in that wet, smoking fire pit?
It doesn't just disappear.
No.
It ferments.
Oh, lovely.
This is where we get into the concept of ama. Ama. Right. I see this word all over the Ayurvedic text we looked at. It sounds ominous.
It is. It's seen as the root of almost all disease in the Ayurvedic model. The critical review of Ama's source compares this whole process to the toxic fermentation of grain. When food isn't properly cooked by your internal fire, it basically rots. It turns into this sticky, heavy, undigested material called ama.
Sticky.
Yeah, think of it like a toxic sludge that coats your insides. It clogs the srotas, which are all the little channels of the body.
And this connects back to Gabriel's weird cravings, right? He said, I feel sluggish and I crave more food. That seems like such a contradiction.
It does, but it's a classic symptom of ama. Dr. Varma explains this so well. Because your digestion is all blocked up by this sticky toxin, your body isn't actually absorbing the nutrients from the food you ate.
So even though his stomach is full, his cells are starving.
His cells are starving. They're sending out these desperate signals saying, hey, we're hungry down here, send more food.
So he eats more, but because the fire is out, that new food just turns into...
More ama. It is a truly vicious cycle.
That is terrifyingly logical. And we haven't even touched on when he's drinking it. He said he drinks it after meal.
Yes. This brings up another whole concept. Viruddha ahar, or incompatible foods.
Usually when I hear that, I think of weird combinations like, I don't know, fish and milk or something.
That's a classic example, sure. But incompatibility also applies to things like temperature and processing. Our source on Viruddha ahar is really clear about this. If you are eating a nice hot meal, say a warm bowl of pasta or some rice and vegetables, your body is working hard to keep that heat up to digest it properly.
And then Gabriel washes it all down with a 32-degree soda.
It's a complete thermal shock. You are forcing the body to use a massive amount of energy just to bring that liquid up to body temperature so it doesn't damage the organs. You are literally fighting your own body's digestive efforts.
It's like putting the brakes on and hitting the gas in the exact same time.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Immediate chaos in the stomach.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate for a second. Is soda always the villain? I mean, what if it's 100 degrees outside, you're sweating, you feel like you're going to pass out from the heat? Is it still bad then?
That's a fair question. And actually, the Ayurvedic doctors we looked at, Dr. Priya Sharma and Dr. Ayush Varma, they do offer a tiny, tiny sliver of a concession here.
The pitta exception.
Exactly. If someone has very high pitta, meaning they have a ton of excess internal heat. Maybe they're quick to anger, their face is flushed, they're suffering from acidity. A cold drink can offer some temporary relief. It acts as a coolant.
But there's a big caveat, isn't there? It's not just go grab a 12-pack.
Oh, a massive caveat. The Soda and Ayurveda source makes a huge distinction between commercial soda and natural fizzy drinks. Commercial soda is described as being tamasic.
Tamasic, meaning
Dull, dead, lethargic. It has no life force. It's just chemicals and processed sugar. So even if the cold temperature helps your pitta for a moment, the chemical load is still creating toxins.
whereas a natural fizzy drink,
Like a naturally fermented fruit soda, or maybe something made with real ginger and a natural sugar that has some enzymatic activity. It's alive in a sense. In extreme heat, that might be okay in moderation, but for most of us, and certainly for Gabriel, drinking 3 or 4 a day commercial soda is almost always a net negative.
okay, so Gabriel's listening to this, and he's probably staring at his fridge full of soda and just weeping. We have to give him an off-ramp. How can you stay cool and refreshed without wrecking your Agni?
Right, we need to pivot from what not to do to what to do. And Ayurveda is actually very big on cooling drinks. They're just not the ones that freeze your gut.
I was looking at the Healthy Soft Drinks for Summer source and the Don Lee guide, and they had some great options. First one up, coconut water.
The ultimate natural electrolyte drink. It cools the body down systemically, but it doesn't dampen the digestive fire. It's a coolant in terms of its energy, not just its temperature.
And then there's shikanji. I love this one. It's basically lemonade, but with a twist.
Yes. Lemon juice, water, a little bit of sugar, and this is the crucial part, a pinch of rock salt and maybe some rusted cumin.
Why the salt and cumin?
The rock salt helps restore the electrolytes you lose when you sweat, and the cumin is a digestive aid, so you're cooling yourself down while actually helping that campfire burn a little brighter.
Another big one they mentioned is buttermilk, or takra.
This is very traditional, and it's not the thick, heavy buttermilk you'd buy for pancakes here in the West. It's much thinner, watered down, spiced with maybe some ginger or coriander. It's a probiotic, a digestive powerhouse. It cools you down and improves digestion.
What about for the fizz lovers? Because sometimes you just want that feeling.
Jaljeera is a great option. It's cumin water, often made with mint, has a bit of a savory kick to it. Or koos water, that's made from vetiver roots. It's extremely cooling.
But let's be real, Gabriel is at a party. There's no vetiver root water. There's a cooler full of soda. If he absolutely must drink one, how does he do damage control?
Harm reduction. Okay, rule number 1, do not drink it with your food.
Keep them separate.
At least 30 minutes apart. Let your stomach deal with the soda or deal with the food, but please not both at once. Rule number 2, no ice.
Room temp.
Or at least just cool, not freezing. And rule 3, sip it slowly, don't chug it, mix it with your saliva, and let your mouth warm it up a little bit before it hits your stomach.
And what if he's feeling that bloating afterwards? Dr. Varma had a suggestion for that, an antidote.
Yes, the antidote. To rekindle that fire he just doused, he should sip some warm herbal tea, maybe with ginger or cumin, or even just warm water with a dash of lemon. It helps restart the engine.
So to circle all the way back to that confusing phrase that started this whole deep dive, keeping a cold, soft drink on balance.
It turns out you can't really keep a cold, soft drink on balance. The very act of drinking it is what throws you off balance.
Gabriel, here's the summary for you. You are fighting a losing battle. The cold shock freezes your stomach. The gas from the fizz bloats you. The sugar makes you sluggish and completely confuses your body's hunger signals.
You're essentially creating that toxic sludgeama that is making you feel so terrible. And that feeling of bloating isn't just gas, it's your digestion crying out for help.
So the goal isn't just to be cool in terms of temperature. It's to be cool energetically.
Exactly. You want to refresh the system, not freeze the machine.
I want to leave everyone with a thought that really stuck with me from the research. Our bodies work so hard to maintain an internal temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a biological imperative.
It is a constant effort.
So why on earth do we think that pouring a 32-degree liquid directly into that engine is somehow going to make it run better?
It's a great question. Maybe the most refreshing drink isn't the one that gives you a shock, but the one that actually lets your body rest instead of forcing it to fight just to warm back up.
Something to mull over the next time you reach for that ice bucket. Gabriel, we really hope that clears up the mystery. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
Stay balanced, everyone.